Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of Fright Friday right here on Night Owl Video. And you may be saying to yourself, Overlord, really not a horror movie, though it is listed on the internet as a war slash or horror slash war. So there are some pretty horrific parts in this. I don't know if it doesn't really classify as a traditional horror movie per se, but it does have elements of horror in it. And Nazis. It's about Nazi like zombie type things, so it's pretty scary, I guess. Anyway, this is what we're talking about on Fright Friday today, so I hope you'll stick around. We'll talk about cast, production, critical response, my thoughts on the film, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you stick around. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed recently. As of recording this video, I'm at 273 subscribers, so that's amazing. Thank you to everybody who has joined along here on my physical media journey. And yeah, it's amazing. All the comments and likes and everything. It's so cool. As you know, as I've said in previous videos, it really charges me and keeps me going with these reviews. I mean, I love doing this anyway, but your support just is like just a cherry on top, if you will. So anyway, today I'm talking about Overlord. This is a horror slash war movie from 2018. It was directed by a person named Julius Avery, who also directed Samaritan, as well as the recent film The Pope's Exorcist. Now, I have not seen either of those movies. I've heard of both of them, but then, and I didn't realize that the director did those movies. So now that I've rewatched this, I kind of feel like Samaritan is the one with Sylvester Stallone. I think it's like a superhero kind of thing, or like an anti-hero type thing. I was curious about that movie, but I opted to kind of skip it. But now that I've seen this again and realized that that director did this, I am kind of curious now. So I might go and seek those out. The Pope's Exorcist, I don't know, for some reason that movie does not get me excited. It's some exorcist movie with Russell Crowe in it. I feel like it got decent reviews, so I don't know, maybe someday when I'm bored or something, but I'm not a big fan of exorcist type movies except for The Exorcist, but maybe. This movie stars Jovan Adepo, who was also in a small role in Mother, exclamation point, as well as the movie Babylon, another movie I have not seen, but got kind of mixed reviews, I think. That came out either this year or late last year. This also stars Wyatt Russell, who is in lots of movies and TV shows that I don't really know. He's also Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn's kid, and he looks like a perfect mix of the two of them. I really like this Wyatt Russell, very good actor. This also stars Mathilde Olivier, or Oliver, who has been in some movies and TV shows, and I also don't know any of those. She hasn't been in a lot of stuff. As well as John Magaro, who was in the TV series Orange is the New Black, which I only saw the first couple seasons. I did like that show, just never got around to getting back to it for some reason, but I do like that movie, or TV series. So the synopsis for this film is: on the eve of D-Day, American paratroopers drop behind enemy lines to penetrate the walls of a fortified church and destroy a radio transmitter. As the soldiers approach their target, they soon begin to realize that there's more going on in the Nazi-occupied village than a simple military operation. Making their way to an underground lab, the outnumbered men stumble upon a sinister experiment that forces them into a vicious battle against an army of the undead. So this does, like I said, this does have an element of like reanimated bodies, again, kind of keeping in theme, I guess, with my review of Reanimator earlier in the week. But yeah, they do like inject bodies with this weird fluid that does bring them back to life, but they kind of mutate into these like zombie type characters, and they're like super strong. Excuse me, and they're just kind of scary overall. Scary looking too. The initial story for this film was conceived by J.J. Abrams, who you know from, of course, the Star Trek reboots and the Star Wars sequels, as well as screenwriter Billy Ray. On January 18th, 2018, the film was initially reported as being the fourth installment of the Cloverfield film series, although Abrams denied this at CinemaCon in April of 2018. Principal photography began in September of 2017 and wrapped up in January of 2018. Overlord grossed $21.7 million in the United States and Canada, and an additional $20 million in other territories, for a total worldwide gross of $41.7 million against a production budget of $38 million. So, not a big return on investment for this. ROI, as they say in the business world. Yeah, this sure wasn't like a huge movie. I remember at the time kind of hearing about it, but I didn't really know. I thought it was just like another war picture. But then when I started to read about it more and more, I was like, oh, this is like a zombie, like Nazi zombie war movie. So it was a bit different than your typical war movie. I did watch the behind the scenes making of some of the behind the scenes making of on this. I will say one part that I found really fascinating, and I'm just saying this because there weren't really a lot of production notes on this movie that I could find online. But I did watch one of the making ofs, and there is a scene where they come in at the beginning where they come in on an airplane as paratroopers, and that airplane scene is really, really intense. And like, enemy ships are like shooting bullets up into the bottom of the airplane. It's like taking out some of the soldiers and stuff, which is really scary. Like I thought, oh my God, I don't know if I assume that really happened during the war times, but it was really scary because, imagine just sitting there. You're like a sitting duck, literally. But that whole scene is so convincing. Like it looks so realistic. And in the making of, it showed where they actually made like the fuselage of the airplane, or like the body of the airplane, and shot it inside this kind of set. But it was just like the body of the airplane. It didn't have the tail or the nose or the wings, just that middle section. And the actors would have to go up a flight of stairs to get into this middle section of this airplane, which was on this kind of like harness, and it could like move them back and forth and kind of tilt them front and back like this. And so it really gave the soldiers like this really jarring experience of like the thing moving and stuff. And I thought that was so cool. Like, I knew there had to be some CGI or some stuff going on, but like that was practical. Like they were actually sitting in this body of this fake airplane that looked really real, and then setting off like firecrackers or whatever to make it sound like machine guns, and filling the cabin with like smoke, and like it was so intense to watch that. And they said that the actors were like all dressed up in their military garb with their backpacks and their parachutes, and the actors were saying like it was just like torturously hot inside this set, and they were just being like tossed around. And like I guess some of the actors said it was like actually really scary in there, which kind of like helped them amp up their acting and stuff. And like sort of like they probably had like squibs or something going off, so it looked like some of the actors were being shot, and like some of the actors were saying like this is what it would have been like in real war times to like you lose your buddies, your friends, in these situations, and like how scary and terrifying it was. So I really, I thought that was so intense watching that. There weren't a lot of other production notes on this film, but there are, like I said, a bunch of making of featurettes on here. So yeah, this was really cool. I'm just noticing now that, oh yeah, this is. Oh, okay, I got confused for a minute. I thought I saw disc 2, and I was like, wait a sec, I don't have a disc 2. I'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, this film, though it wasn't a huge blockbuster, it did fairly well with the critics. It currently holds an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes. One critic was quoted as saying, quote, part revisionist war drama, part zombie thriller, and part all-out genre gorefest, Overlord offers A-level fun for B-level movie fans of multiple persuasions, unquote. And I thought that was actually a really good, there was a reason I picked that particular quote, because when I was watching this, I thought this does remind me of like a B movie, but it's like filtered through that, A-level kind of like top tier movie. But it definitely does have that kind of gritty kind of, and we're talking like zombies in World War II, which kind of has that affiliation with a lot of earlier grindhouse movies. So yeah, it definitely did feel that way, and I thought that was a very accurate description of this film, like a B movie story with a B movie concept, but filtered through that like mainstream Hollywood movie. And I don't know if that works all the time. I mean, the grindhouse movies that Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez did, they weren't big hits. But that was a situation where it was like, we're literally going to make a big budget B movie. So I don't know if that formula always works, but in this case, I feel like it really did. And that is kind of part of my thoughts on this film, which is usually what I do at the end of these reviews. I really like this movie. I would give this a 4.5 out of 5. I couldn't really find much wrong with it. Maybe there were some parts that were a little dragged out. But overall, this movie really kept going with the pace. I mean, that's a very minor nitpick. The effects were good. The acting was really good. The whole story about, the Nazi, this kind of evil Nazi captain who would go and hit on this girl in the village. And then this guy kind of had like they kind of had like a little bit of a chemistry going there. And so like when the evil Nazi would come and be like, oh, why don't you spend some time with me or whatever? And she wasn't, very fond of his forwardness. Obviously he's a Nazi. So in a French village, he got really upset and got like almost jealous. And so there was this really good tension between those characters in those scenes when the Nazis were kind of patrolling the village nearby to where the church was. The zombie mutants that they had were really cool. I don't know how much of it was practical. I think a lot of it was. The effects for the zombies were really good, really convincing. They were super strong, so they were like really terrifying, especially when fighting, just your regular American soldiers. Yeah, I thought this was really cool. I just love this movie. I think it was really cool. I think it's one that kind of got overlooked a lot in a lot of ways. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but if you like war movies, if you like revisionist history, if you like zombies, if you like gore, if you like high intense action, then this movie's for you. If you're squeamish, much like with Reanimator that I reviewed earlier in the week, if you're squeamish or you just don't like war pictures or things like that, probably not going to be for you. But I thought this was a great movie, and like I said, kind of overlooked in my opinion, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a lot of people do love this. It wasn't a big blockbuster at the movies. I mean, it made its money back and a little bit more, but this wasn't like a comic book movie or things like that. On that note, I don't know if this is based on anything. The story was by Billy Ray. Yeah, I don't know. This edition is the 2018 DVD Blu-ray, which a minute ago I said, wait, mine isn't 2 discs, but yeah, it is. One is the Blu-ray and one is the DVD. The special features are go behind enemy lines with action-packed bonus content, Brothers in Arms, Death Above, Death Below, and more. That's on disc 1. Disc 2 is just the DVD. But yeah, this is a really cool movie. This movie has a runtime of 109 minutes. Pretty good. It's rated 18 in Canada for brutal violence and gory scenes. This is, I would assume, a Region 1 Blu-ray. Yeah, it's a Region 1 Blu-ray. It says 2-disc set. That's a little deceiving. It's really just a Blu-ray and a DVD, but My copy is an ex-rental, so I don't have the digital code, but I don't partake in the digital copies of movies. It says from producer J.J. Abrams, so they were definitely trying to like hype this up, as the director Julius Avery didn't have really much before this, I don't think. I think this was his first feature-length film. So J.J. Abrams is pretty prominently, displayed in the credits as well as in the making of. He's in there as well, talking about the film and things like that. So, yeah, cool movie. Just a cool. I feel like this would be in the 80s. This would have been in the cult movie section at your local video store, and maybe would have been more popular if it was from back then. I don't know. But it definitely has that cool 80s vibe to it. Grindhouse, gore, war, brutal, like violence, all that stuff. Just your classic formula for like a classic 80s cult film. So, but this was pretty intense, and that's why I included it today on Fright Friday for you. I hope you like this review. If you've seen this movie, let me know what you thought about it. Like I said, I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. It is several years old now, so it's kind of out of the spotlight, but I feel like it's one that is worthy of mentioning and talking about. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Give me the thumbs up if you like this review. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Follow me over on Instagram at Night Owl Video. If you missed it this past week, I did review Reanimator on Tuesday for Cult Movie Tuesday, so go back and check that out. Wicked, wicked movie, my friends. So go check that out. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And until next time, I will see you at the video store, or at the thrift store, or just out and about, or maybe sneaking behind enemy lines to combat Nazi zombies. Who knows? But until then, please take good care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.